你知道人家那个凉的咖啡不是有那萃取的嘛？哈、哦，对吧 ？Starbucks 也是夏天有凉的咖啡 without ice， 一杯那个更浓，对，更黑更浓。一嘛哈 ，non-contingent non-contingent offer， 这个通常就是讲说。Alright， 我先把这个拿开。Okay, on the market condition, non-contingent offers. Most resident purchase agreement contain a contingency allow a buyer within a specified period of time to cancel the purchase if the buyer cannot obtain the loan. One of them. I know the loan still is pretty hard to get. Two is the certain value. That's is dissatisfied with the property condition after an inspection. Certainly after inspection, some people may not like it, or it's a major damage, especially foundation, those kinds of issue. Buyer may not continue for the purchase. If the property does not appraise at a certain value, to make their offer more attractive, buyer will sometimes write offer with few or no contingency or offer to remove contingency within a short period of time. In a hot market, seller will sometimes insist that buyers write offer with no contingencies. Broker recommend that buyers do not write non-contingency offer, and if you do so, you are acting against broker advice. However, if you write a non-contingent offer, there are some of the contractual right you may be giving up. Did you ever submit the no contingency offer? No? Okay. Pretty lucky. Well, sometimes when you compete, not just, even you want to keep the contingency, but the listing agent won't let you keep the contingency. If you making the over asking price offer, and listing agent could be counter, say, no price of contingency. And if you paying all cash offer, sometimes they may counter you, no loan contingency. You pretty much give up because you pay all cash. Sometimes, you can say, I do submit it before, like say, loan, but no loan contingency. That means I'm giving the sign to the seller. Look, we can pay all cash if our loan doesn't go through. So you gotta have to show the full amount more than the asking price, the bank statement, instead of just the down payment. So you prove that we do have a capability. We try to get a loan, or maybe we don't need a loan. We don't know yet, but we can pay all cash if we, worst come worst. So that's if you submit a no loan contingency offer. And if the hot market, we even submit before like no inspection contingency. You give up all inspection. Why? Before you submit the offer or before the accepting offer, you already hired an inspector, inspect everything before open escrow. Yeah. Sure. Northern California way. In Northern California, before open escrow, you sign, remove all contingency before they open escrow. All disclosure statement, all prelim, natural hazard disclosure statement, inspection, everything, you have to be done before we open escrow. Before the seller accepting your offer. When there's a hot market, hey, even $1 million house, you want it or not? You don't want it? Next. Whoever willing to submit a highest offer and with no contingency, they will choose that. Yeah. It's just we got spoiled here. With contingent here, contingent there. Yeah. But it is though. If you remove any contingency, it's actually against our brokerage advice. Our advice is we keep the contingency. But if we have to submit it to compete, you got to make sure your buyer understand. Because if anything happens, the buyer lose their deposit, you are in trouble. That's how usually buyers sue the buyer's agent. The major reason they lost their initial deposit. Yeah. And who got to pay? You didn't make the money. Sometimes you have to pay the initial deposit to the buyer to get out of the case. So loan contingency, if you give up your loan contingency and you cannot obtain the loan, whether through your fault or the fault of your lender, and as a result, you cannot purchase the property, you may legally be in default under the contract and require a pay damage and forfeit your deposit to the seller. So if your loan doesn't go through, for example, the last moment, the bank or the lender did not fund it, that's the worst scenario because you already remove contingency. Or you don't have a loan contingency. And the last moment, your money cannot come in. That's quite a few, Chinese, if their money cannot come out from China, what happened? Yeah. They lose their deposit. They lose their initial deposit. You tell me you pay all cash. You show me the money, the bank statement in China. Uh-oh. Then at the moment, we want to close. Where's your money? So that may happen. Or your loan didn't get funded because something happened in person. The worst scenario I see is they have the tax lien issue. Tax lien, and hey, right after you right before you close an escrow, and IRS, forfeit your account. They levy your account with the money. Suddenly your down payment is gone.
If we keep the loan contingency and finally we pay the cash, should be all right?
If you have a cash in the bank, yes. You remove loan contingency.
So better we keep that. We pay cash.
But sometimes because to compete, then we will remove the loan contingency. Recently, I have a loan, just a deal just like that. Buyer want to pay cash, or I say, I can try to get loan, but either we can pay cash right now and we get refi later. They say, well, why so much trouble? Why don't we just get the loan right now and remove loan contingency? Oh, we can do that. They didn't know. They say, yeah. I mean, worst come worst, if you cannot get finance, we still can pay cash. Okay. Then you can always think about refi later. Why I give it a suggestion? So you don't pay the fee twice. Even you close escrow in cash, you still need the fee, right? Recording fee, this fee, and that fee, escrow fee. When you do refi, another escrow, another loan fee, another lender fee, right? I mean, and another title insurance fee. And so do the escrow fee. That's still a few $1,000s. Why bother to pay twice? Oh, okay. So yeah, that's, if that you can pretty confident you can get finance, let's do that. Yeah. So you don't pay twice on the fee. Second, the appraisal contingency, if your lender or your own appraiser does not believe the property is worth what you have agreed to pay for it, your lender may not loan the full amount needed for the purchase and may not loan any amount at all because the low appraisal. As a result, if you do not purchase the property and you have removed your appraisal contingency, you may legally be in default under the contract and could be required to pay damage or forfeit your deposit to the seller. Seller is not obligated to reduce the purchase price to match the appraised value. See the last statement? You got to make the buyer understand. Oh, big deal. We can, offer whatever they want. Hey, if they didn't appraise the value, we start renegotiate. Yes, we can renegotiate, but seller is not obligated to reduce The smart listing agent is if you pay over asking price and you know it's over market, not just asking. Some of the asking price, they try to be starting low, then we will, okay. Some of the price, on the hot market, we always create a history every day. Then definitely we know, even buyer's agent. So being a buyer's agent, you guys have to know what's the value. If the asking price, you're already marketing value, but because the condition or the location or the market doesn't have the property, the scale of the inventory, then you have to pay more than the market price. Listing agent may force the buyer, if you want to pay the price you offer, please remove contingency. If you don't, I'm not going to accept your offer. I'm not gonna open escrow with you. So buyer, at the moment, you gotta have to thought about it twice. They say, well, did you have enough money to cover the down payment? Usually how much, how many percent? If we really have to do that. Minimum 5 to 10%, just in case. Because appraisal value becoming low. And your offering price already above the market. So if you stretch 5%, 5% there, add up 10% easy. Sometimes the appraisal value may be 5% lower than the current market because, well, we look at the active market. And you have to pay over maybe 5% the market value to market price before you can get the deal. Then you spread out as 10%. So you gotta have enough 10%. So if somebody just put it like 20% down, oh boy, you better don't buy anything in the hot market, or you better buy in a slow season. We are starting with the hot season now. Starting last month, December. December is starting the hot season all the way till May. This year may not be so hot because interest rate, economy may affect it, but it's only depend on the area. Some of the area or any of the price under $600,000, any property, still pretty hot. Certainly, Riverside, any under 600, still got tons of them. But if you go to Irvine, anything 600, almost none of them. Yeah, because depend on the area. Irvine, that's cheap, dirt cheap. Yeah. But at Riverside, boy, 600, you can get a huge house. Yeah, over 6,000 square footage house. So it's different market. And so, but if you talk about the greater LA area, the median price is about $600,000. Those are, if you got on a certain area, they're still pretty hot.
For your experience, the appraisal and how much the difference you are thinking worth to the don't buy, or how much you can go?
It has to be case to case because depend on the property. Sometimes
we said percentage, okay, like 5.
Well, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I was an appraiser before. I have appraiser license before. So I mean, the how we determine on the value, we're gonna have to look at the condition, the location, and the market condition. Sometimes we look at the sold com, pending com, or active com. So we have to know the market is go upswing or downswing. And we also have to look at it if it's income property units, we're gonna have to look at the rent. Okay, the rent income coming in, or anything the value if we add on the property. For example, if you think to us as a buyers, bigger lot, you have more value. But to appraiser, bigger lot, we don't add much value. So if you're buying a house is small, lot is big. And sometimes the neighborhood just doesn't have the record or, to support that. And that's really hard. And appraiser, we have to go out bigger, radius to find the similar property, but sometimes they may be off. We tried our best, but bank is relying on our report to loan you the money. It's not every time we can reach the a purchase price. Sometimes it's way off. Buyers so pissed on us. What can I say? But it's really hard to say. Last time, for example, Hacienda High, that one is kind of way off. We offer as the 4 units income property, and asking price $1.47 million. The highest offer, we didn't get it to begin with. The highest offer is 1.6 million. How much more? Almost 10%. 10% more. We only offer 1.52. $50,000 more. Okay? We are the 5th. You got 14 offers. 14. We are number 5. How can we get the number 5? What happened to the first 4? Yeah, cancel. First one, 1.6. Money didn't show up. All cash in China. Oh, too bad. Cancel. Second, they have an issue with whatever the title report says. That's no big deal to me. I mean, I say, second, cancel. Third, piss off with the listing agent. Listing agent, forget it. You don't get the deal. I forgot what's the 4th reason. Because the listing agent said, James, I guess it's meant to be you because I like to work with you, but your price is the number 5. Seller choose the highest first, right? Okay. And it's end up, after almost a month later. James, is your buyer still interested? Sure. What happened? The first 4, they're gone. Okay. So we went in and asked for 1.25. 1.525. But you know how much appraisal value coming out? 1.4. Another 10% less. Yeah. They asking 1.7. I think that's really cheap. And definitely we want to add up. But obviously, appraiser doesn't think that way. Okay? Appraiser is a person. And it's a third party. And the bank relying on appraiser to appraise the value. We still close the escrow. But I talked to the buyer because I did what the buyer say. We pay whatever we want. But I always tell them, but I cannot guarantee how much come out with the appraisal value. We could renegotiate the value or we cancel. See, the problem is the first 4 listing agent, they all counter them without appraisal contingency. If the listing agent counter us, no appraisal contingency, and I cannot renegotiate. And he is also very confident our price will go through 1.52. Yeah, obviously he's wrong. So he did not counter us, lucky me. Okay, he did not counter us, no appraisal contingency. So I talked to her, hey, look, here's a 1.4. Well, seller shocked too. But anyway, end up with the we renegotiate. I said, well, then obviously, $12,000, $120,000 difference. See what we can meet in the middle. And we're starting with 1.45. And I talked to the buyers. I said, it's not going to happen. You know that 1.4 is way too low. I don't know what your lender finding the appraiser. So we all get pissed on the appraiser anyway, both of us. Listing agent, buyer's agent, everybody, even buyer. What happened? Cost me so. I said, he didn't cause you trouble. He saved you a lot of money. But just, see how I can work with you. So how we end up with the asking price 1.47 to close the escrow. So actually I say $50,000 for the buyer. That's what we promise. Seller lose $50,000 because appraisal value. Even the seller say, I want to hire another appraiser. But yeah, you could hire another appraiser, but doesn't mean the lender will use the appraiser you hire. Seller can hire another appraiser, get a second opinion. But so what? Lender, I don't care who you hire. I only trust who I hire. Right? So that's the issue, we deal with before renegotiate. So you talk to me, it's like, how many percent? It's hard to say. Sometimes 1 to 2%. Buyer say, okay, that's okay. But on my situation, 10%, would you renegotiate or not? Absolutely. Right? Okay. Sometimes 5% we renegotiate it. Maybe split half-half. But seller doesn't have to. Okay? Cooperate or meet the value, appraisal value. You don't want it? Tough luck. Get out. Well, that's in Southern California. If you go to different state, oh, please. Because the some of the area, if the cash flow, if the investment property, the cash flow is really good, but 20 years, they never appraised. The market value stay the same. A lot of states, their housing market like that. For 20 years or 30 years, the value is still the same. They sold the property for exactly same price when they purchased 20 years ago. But the cap rate is great. The return could be 8%, 9% return. But the property never appreciate the value. Oh yeah, a lot of states like that. So we cannot really, when the people say, oh, the market condition is not good. Okay, fine. What market? Oh, the United States market. Ain't got no United States market. California different than other states, isn't it? Southern California different than Northern California, isn't it? How about the Central California? Bakersfield. You talk about a state, real estate over there. Can they compare the Northern Cal with Southern Cal? No way. And then we can narrow down to city. City, you can also narrow down to area. If you buy the property in the north side of a 60 freeway, Hacienda High, can you compare the south side of 60 freeway? It's different. Every city, they have a different area and the price is different too. So do Chino Hills. North side, middle, and the south. The price could be spread out 20% different between the North Chino Hills and South Chino Hills. It could be 20% difference on the same property. Same size of a house. Okay?
Some builders, they find a lot in the not so good area like Pomona, and they develop units, and you are the buyer's agent. It's looks like you won't get the appraisal value as your contract, the value of the contract. How could you handle?
Usually, if you buy a brand new house, I would not suggest buyer using their own loan, using builder's loan, lender. Well, that's one thing, because incentive, one thing. Another thing, appraisal value. Because the lender, their appraiser, they have the document they need to appraise the value. But lender, they are kinds of, I say, if you want to use your own lender, they may not provide whatever the necessary document, and the appraiser cannot appraise the value to the purchase price. That's a gray area. Okay? Why? A builder want to make the money, not just the house money. A lot of builders, they have their own financing. Do you think it's a work with the bank? No, their own bank. Builder loan you the money, not any lender. And do they really care the appraisal value? I loan you the money in person, put it this way. It's more like a personal loan, right? By builder. Then Do I really care the appraisal value? I build it, I'll loan you the money. So not only I make the money from building the house, I make the money from loan you the interest. You want to use your own lender? Oh, some of a permit or some of a CD stuff, I may not give it to you. Then they cannot appraise the value. Sure, then you better back out soon within their contingency period. Otherwise, your deposit is gone too. Yeah. So if you want to use your own lender, be careful. You better don't piss off with the builder, because a lot of document you need it from them, especially appraiser, especially your lender. Otherwise, your loan will not go through. It's not like a regular standard, sale. Every document is being public, but those a brand new house builder has a document. It's not to the public yet. Sure, they want to close a deal, but they can close a deal with someone else. A lot of builder, if they have people line up, why do they have to sell it to you with other lender? Right? Well, certainly at this moment, if you go to Irvine, yes, they will cooperate with you. Okay, because they don't have people line up. But when a good time, forget it. You even have to bribe a sales office. Okay? Otherwise, you don't get the house. Yeah. That's the market. Okay? They say, well, can we do something so we can get the house? For example, remember the last time at Chino Hills, they opened the market close to Diamond Bar, that one, about only 82 units or something, but 152 or over 150 people sign up. It's only 80 houses. Then what do you have to do? How do you get the house? Right? How do you get in line? Hey, can we do something? Huh? Opposite situation? Yeah, they will beg you. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, we give the commission back to a listing, the sales office lady. We did that in the hot market. Yeah, it's not you give it to the buyer. You ask buyer, do you want a house or not? And I have to do something. You just cannot take all the commission. It probably, Irvine, they offer you, sometimes they don't offer you commission. If they do offer you commission, you might have to split to the sales lady or salesperson, sales rep in the sales office, because their commission is really low. Sometimes they only get a $2,000-$3,000 each unit, but you get what, 10, 20,000? Yeah. Yeah. After closing escrow. Okay. But that's, different market, we all have a, in a great different area, and you just have to, be smart to play along. Why this agent can get the deal, why the other agent, you bring the client to buy the brand new house, they cannot get it. Think. Yeah. Okay, any question? Market condition. Okay, because appraisal, it really depends on case to case. So that's what I can give you some example how to happen. All right, then we're starting the most important one is the seller property questionnaire, SPQ. Huh? Is it? Oh, okay. I thought that's the last one. Okay, no problem. We'll continue. 2 pages. All right. I thought that's the second page. Okay. Okay. Inspection contingency. All right. Now, where's my market? Oh, right here. Because it used to be market condition, it's only 1 page, and now they're adding more and more. We can only get more form, more pages. Purchase agreement, actually, they're starting with, I think, originally when I practiced, only about 7 pages. Now it's 10. Okay, 3, inspection contingency. If you disapprove and the condition of the property, and as a result, you do not purchase a property, you may legally be default under the contract and required to pay the damage to or forfeit your deposit. And the seller, if you have removed your inspection contingency, however, if you make an offer without an inspection contingency or you remove that contingency, that seller may still be obligated to disclose to you material fact about the property. In some cases, once you receive the information, the law gives you the independent right to cancel for the limited period of time. Inspection contingency. When the buyer removes the inspection contingency, it's buyer side. Doesn't mean the seller, they still need to provide you the disclosure, the fact, material fact, okay, about this property. That is different. So that's more like a disclosure. The inspection contingency, that's why if talk about strictly inspection, is buyer's inspection, or they didn't say investigation. See that? On our contingency removal, notice buyer perform. We have what? The other one is disclosure. Remove the disclosure contingency. But this is an inspection contingency. That is for the condition of the house. Okay, so that means the buyer doesn't want to hire the inspectors. And usually, if you want to remove the inspection contingency, listing agent or buyer's agent will tell the buyer signing what? Inspection waiver. You are acting against the brokerage. So you gotta have to sign a waiver, okay? Or usually the listing agent could be shorten the inspection contingency period. Usually as a listing agent, someone paying all cash, you don't want to wasting the seller's time. Instead of 17 days on default on the purchase agreement. For example, did you have a 30-day in all cash offer? Yes, I have it. I did receive that, and I'm not against it. That's okay. But sometimes, as in a multiple offer situation, then you shorten the period. I received those like remove the inspection contingency within 5 days. Well, if the listing agent wanted 5 days, would you accept it or not? Yeah. Right after open escrow, I hire the inspector right away. I get a report. Then I try to get it, see if he's okay or not. Yeah.
You mentioned that some listing agent might ask the buyer to submit an offer without the inspection contingency. Then the buyer have to hire his or her own inspector to inspect the property before submit the offer. In this kind of situation, does the buyer need to have written consent from the listing agent to do the inspection before submitting offer?
I would say not before submitting offer. I wrote those counter before. I would say you submit the offer, but I would not accept it until you do the inspection. Because when I counter, I will counter no inspection, no repair, no termite completion. You remove all contingency before I open escrow. When it's a really, really hot market, I'm the listing agent and I will do the Northern California way. You go inspected everything. I'll give you all the disclosure. Okay? Then you remove all contingency before we open escrow. Then we close escrow in 5 days. Or 7 days. So I'll let you get in to do the inspection, everything. Then if you didn't like it, no hard feeling. And I will not present your offer.
I mean, before you submit the offer, do you have to get a permission in black and white from listing agent to do your?
Well, as long as the seller is okay with it. Yeah, you don't really have to get a black and white. It just as a seller will let the inspector get in. Sometimes the buyer, they are the contractor, they just get in to look at themselves. So that's, when it's hot market, I did I did actually counter the buyer like that. Those counter is pretty nasty. They sign it, agree with it, bang, we close it right away, right after open escrow. Just wire the money in. I'll give you all you need to respect: prelim, natural, NHD. Okay, all the disclosure, you review it, everything's okay, we open escrow. Once we open, it's about to close. Yeah. The fastest way I close an escrow was in 5 business days with the townhouse. HOA document, everything has to get ready. 5 days. And the fastest, not me though, I heard that the fastest the escrow they close ever, 2 days. Buyer's agent, listing agent, I have to be the messenger, deliver all documents. You get the money in today, open escrow, everything recorded tomorrow. All cash. Yes, yes. So that's why it's up to the seller cooperating or not. If the seller cooperating, say for example, if you are selling with the listing with the townhouse or a condo with the HOA, did you ever order the HOA and sit in the escrow? Right? That's ready. All disclosure statement has been filled out, sitting in the listing agent. So before you even close escrow, I give it to the buyers already. That's disclosure. How about your prelim NHD? Is it ready in the escrow? So the escrow officer, when they actually receive the offer, they type in the buyer's name, bang, they give the escrow instruction right away. And or buyer sign it in escrow right after they type it. Yeah, that's how we did. You sign everything in escrow. Money in right away. You wire the money in the morning, they receive in the afternoon. Can it be delivered? Yeah, next day, record it. It can be done. So what do you think? Whatever the day contingency doesn't apply. Right? 2-day escrow. What do you do? Yeah. So those are the special situation like that. But I mean, on a regular, that's what we talk about, a standard regular way. So sometimes we just try to be creative and compete with others, a different situation. Just like when we submit the offer, sometimes I say, last time I could be to say, well, why don't we just increase the deposit, make it look better on the offer, right? But that deposit, so what? When I cancel, I still get all the money back. It's as long as you cancel within contingency period. But how many people will think about that? You only put a split, 2%, 3% initial deposit. Did you ever thought about 10% initial deposit? 20% initial deposit? Well, yeah. Can you do that? Sure. But where we put an increased deposit, see the first page of a purchase on the middle section? Why they leave there? You ever thought about that? You can still put 2-3% before you submit the offer. But I put it, if you really a hot market, you can say, if you're accepting our offer, open escrow, I'll give you extra initial deposit. Another 10%, for example. Why? Make the seller happy. That's it. Yeah. It's just you have more money. You show you're serious. You're willing to sit the money in the escrow. I didn't say you release the money to seller. I never suggest that. But sometimes listing agent or seller may counter you that on the counter. Once you open escrow, you release half of a deposit or all initial deposit to seller. Oh, that's what they're telling you. You better buy. You better close the deal. Otherwise, you lose the deposit. You release it right after open. Yeah. It happened. Okay. This is inherent risk to written and non-contingency offer. Only you, after careful consulting and deliberation with your attorney, accountant, financial advisor, can decide how much risk you are willing to take. It is your decision alone and cannot be made by your broker and the real estate agent. All right? Never make any decision for your buyer. Make sure they understand. Otherwise, they will tell you, oh, yeah, listing agent or whoever, tell me to do that. Oh boy, we're in trouble. So that's why you gotta make them, whatever they remove any contingency is on their own will. I can only tell the buyer, we do have this option, but it's your choice. You want to give up your rights. Yeah. C, broker recommendation. Broker recommend that you do not write a non-contingency offer even if you are planning to pay all cash for the property. If you intend to write a non-contingent offer, broker recommend that prior to written the offer, you, 1, review all available seller report, disclosure information, and documents. 2, have appraiser, professional inspect the appropriate professional inspect the property, even if it is being sold as is in its present condition. 3, careful access your financial position to risk with your attorney, accountant, and financial advisor. So that means, if I don't get a loan, do you have enough money to pay all cash? Even it's all cash, okay? You want to try to get a loan? So that's why on the C, it's more like the Northern California. That's what they did in the market, in the hot market. Not right now, though. They're not so hot either. Used to be a few years back. That's how they submit the offer. Review all documents, hire the appropriate professional, inspect the property. Most likely the cash buyer get the deal. Finance is tough. Okay, and unless you want to compete with them and you're gonna have to take the risk, are you gonna risk with your initial deposit? Because you may have to give up everything before somebody accept your offer, but non-contingency offer. Yeah. Absolutely. Sure, if you want to. Not. No, seller have to provide it. That's how, if I want to submit a non-contingency offer, seller have to provide it. Otherwise, I can only give up the inspection contingency, but I cannot give out remove all contingency. All contingency, that means including escrow, your prelim, your NHT, okay, and the seller disclosure, everything. I can't, because I have to see it, right? That's not fair. And certainly the buyer's agent, if that's so stupid, you just watch he and she will get into trouble. That's how they get a lawsuit. Multiple offers. At the time, buyer may write the more than one property, even through the buyer's intent to purchase only one. This may occur in the short sale, with the approval process can take a consideration amount of time. While it is not illegal and make offer on a multiple property with intent to purchase only one, the buyer can obligate to many seller if more than one acceptance the buyer's offer. What's telling you? Can buyers submit multiple offer? Absolutely. This multiple offer is not just talk to a seller. Multiple offer. This is a buyer's multiple offers. The buyer I can submit more than one, especially in short sale situation. Well, I may not get this one. When the 2008, 2009, easily we submit 3, 4 offers at the same time for short sale. Because sometimes we don't get any. Yeah. So every situation, especially the downturn, when the market is bad, it will show your profession. If you're a professional real estate consultant, okay, you know what to do. The green pea, the rookie, they're out. The good market, easy. Everybody can buy, everybody can sell. When the down market, like for example, starting this year, it's getting tough to sell the house, getting tough to buy the house. You just watch another wave. More starter will get out the market this year and next year. Yeah. Because this year and next year is going to get tough. So that's why I want you guys to just educate yourself and be creative, because it's good. The market is not going to be easier. This year is going to be tougher, and so the next year even tougher. Yeah.
So if the buyer agent can be over the probably 3 or 4 people in one house, right?
Yes.
And if always the situation is the same, what do we do? Let the seller to
Okay.
choice?
Good. No. Well, if the
people complain, oh, maybe he knows. Sometime.
You say the buyer submit multiple offers.
Yeah.
We never let the seller know we submit others. Should I? Why you disclose that? If you disclose to the one of a seller, say, oh, we submitted other offer, submitted other property too. Do you think you are acting against your buyer, your client? You may be in trouble because that's a privacy issue.
No, I think we're a buyer agent. I have 3 customers.
Okay.
Can I offer this property to my 3 customers?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
My question is, if the for the same condition, or how we make decision?
Counter them. Highest and best. And you keep your mouth shut.
So that's the only way, right?
Yeah. That's only fair. Keep your mouth shut. Yeah. First buyer, when you submit the offer, okay? I did that before. Exactly. Three buyer. Okay, I submit the same property. First buyer, I can give it a suggestion. Second offer, I keep my mouth shut. I say, I have to tell you, I did submit it, with other buyer with the same property. I cannot give you any suggestions, so do your best. I can only give you what's the standard. But if you tell me how much should we offer, I can't. Because I already know what did I offer. When the third one, I submitted 2 other offers. Okay? I cannot give you any suggestion. I honestly telling you, you want me to submit it, fine. Do your best.
So we need to tell the truth.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. All of them.
All of them. We need to say, hey, we have 3 offers.
Yeah, I submitted with the others. Unfortunately, I didn't get any. I thought I'd get 3. I got better chance. I still get nothing. Why? It's a hot market. Do you think you buy a lotto 3 times, you get better chance? Yeah. Did you ever have those situations with 30, 40 offers? I had it. I'm a listing agent. Oh man, I gotta when I see the offer coming in, me and the seller, we're just about pass out. You gotta review 40 offers. What do you think? Well, I gotta work till 2 o'clock after midnight. Just pick top 3 out of a 40. And think about some listing agent, they have over 100 offers. You want to crash to the wall.
I think on the agent disclosure form is a clause that telling the buyer, the agent might represent more than one customer.
Well, that's an agency disclosure. Yeah. So that's why, first of all, we don't care who will submit the offer. We just look at what's the offer, and the situation. You have to be smart. It's one thing is buyer, they are sneaky. They find different agent to submit a same property, and as a listing agent, you have to watch out. Wait a minute, it's the same buyer, but how come a different agent? I had that before, and I call each agent. Hey, you guys have to get it straight. Your buyer is sneaky, and each one of them, they didn't know, right? They don't know each other, but the same buyer. I say, look, make sure your buyer who to choose I can work with. Otherwise, I will tell seller, reject both of your offer, because I don't know, and I don't want to get in trouble later, because I can foresee the trouble. Same buyer, two different agents submit the offer to the same property with different price, different condition.
What if they both find out?
Huh?
What if both of the buyer and agent find out that the buyer didn't
Well, believe me, both agents are pissed with their buyer. That's right. Yeah, it's not on my position. I'm the listing agent.
But you have signed some of the agent relationship.
So what?
So that's the what help.
The only thing would help. What's that? Not the agency disclosure. What form would help? Buyer's agreement. If one of the agent, he submitted the not just the offer, also show me the buyer's agreement. That means the buyer's agent telling me don't touch it, because when a good market, you know what happened? Some of the listing agent pretty sneaky too. You already know the buyer, right? You have a buyer's information, and the buyer maybe come in the open house. They tell the buyer, look, you want to get this house so bad, you have to go through me. What's that telling you? You buying? If you want to go through any other agent, you don't get it. I already tell you, I'm going to double end it. Is that illegal? It is illegal. But it's a lot of agents do it? Yes. So what? Some of the agents, go ahead, sue me if you can get the evidence. Yeah. Some of the agents, they are not afraid. Yeah. So I would say, and this, our career is really nasty. You gotta have to, you just forget it, move on, Otherwise, you'll be pissed. Okay? That's how some of a listing agent, they just skate your deal, your buyer. I say, James, I'm so sorry. The listing agent just tell me it's like, I have to go through him. Otherwise, I cannot get this house. What can you say? Unless you sign a buyer's agreement and you submit it to the listing agent, you tell the listing agent, don't touch my buyer. Okay? You touch it, it's okay. Your commission is still mine. Because I'm going to sue you. I got a buyer's agreement. All right? All right. So that's the only form would protect you. So if we're in this situation, I had it, and I make sure, and I tell the buyer, say, I got to see a letter from a buyer, say, who do they want to choose to become their agent, one only. I cannot work with two. Otherwise, I would tell seller, say, I will reject both of your offers. I just, tell you ahead of time. I don't care how much you offer. Your buyer will not get this house. You gotta tell your buyer, choose one agent. Then I'll work with them. That's what I would do. Yeah. Before I accepting any offer, I only worked one buyer, one agent. Not like one buyer, 2, 3 agent. No. But when you got so many offers, you gotta have to double check the name too. Just like, when you have 30 or 40 offers coming in, I have to double check all the name, all the buyers' name. I don't care about who agents submit, how many buyers, but I have to make sure one buyer with one agent. Oh, that's the in the zip form. Not sure. Do I put it right here? Right here. No, I just look at it. Say, do I put it right here? Buyer inspection waiver? Probably not. Document. Buyers. business buyer counter offer. Buyer's agreement. Buyer rep agreement, non-exclusive. You gotta have to sign this, okay? Because one is a non-exclusive. You gotta have to be exclusive. If you sign a non-exclusive, it doesn't mean anything. Anybody can sign it. Just like open listing agreement. Yeah. Okay, so you look at a buyer's rep, this is non-exclude, this is it. No, this is a, wait, this is a, no, this is an agency. No, this is not it. No. This is not it. This is a buyer's rep agreement exclusive. This is not. This is not the right one. Wait a minute.
When sign that only for that house or only for buyer?
Good question. I would not just sign it for that house. I would sign it for a period of time, 3 months, half year,
Right, I think should be a time, right?
and not just sometimes whole city, whole county, or greater LA area. I sometimes put all 4 counties over there. So wherever you go, you have to go through me. Just type in a buyer's agreement. Let's see what will come out.
That's the most buyer will be let the customer sign this agreement or no?
Very rarely. Disclosure. Buyers intend to exchange buyer's rep. They should be called a buyer's agreement on that. I say. No, buyer capacity signature. Seller represents statewide. Notice estimating. Buyer independent advice. Buyer inspection waiver. Buyers intend to exchange supplement. Buyer right. Buyer occupancy. Buyer and non-agency agree. This is a buyer's non-agency disc. Okay, that's no agent. Buyer's rep. Buyer's affidavit. I never let the buyer. Oh, right here. Oh, this is a buyer's amendment. No, that one is an agency disclosure.
This one?
No, buyer's agreement excluded.
Oh, no.
Right, that one.
Yeah, this one.
Buyer's rep. That's what I already added. But that no, it's a 3 pages though. I remember. There's a contingency for the sales and buyers vacant and the buyer intend to exchange supplement estimate. Disclosure rep. Notice the rep. Representing notice the buyer to perform notes possible. You know what? Let me go and take a quick look here. If I don't put the buyer and I see not just the old form, I just if I go see purchase. Buyer amendment, buyers, buyer rep, buyer's non-agency disclosure, buyer rep, buyer's affidavit inspection. I intend to California purchase commercial contingency removal, deliver disclosure. I think it's a notice or something. Let's see here. Estimating seller association. Notice of a transfer fee, notice by the perform, notice probate, optional, purchase a signature. Residential lease, residential. Last time I see it, I know it's called the buyer's agreement. How come they didn't show? Funny. No. It's the. I know it's there because last time some people same thing asked me the same question and we found the zip form here. Let me take a quick look here. Because this form, you guys can also use it. Let the buyer sign it. Buyer, funny. I know it's a buyer's agreement. Where does it disappear? Buyer. Buyer, demand buyer. Disclosure. Oh no. There should be though. Let's say buyer's agreement exclusive. Let's see if this is it. No, this is it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm right. That's the right. That's the right one. That's the right one. I just because they adding the new form. That's why because they just revised on December 18th. That's the right one. Why? Because that's the first 2 page. They adding the agency disclosure. Doesn't show. See that? Until you see the 3rd page. That's why I say, wait a minute, how come it's different? Used to be when I turn out, you see this, a 3rd page. I say, well, that's an agency. Well, I know that's called a disclosure, but now they're adding a agency disclosure. They revised last month. That's right. I said, wait a minute, I know it's called buyer's agreement. So when I look at it, I say, yeah, you got more than 1 page. Oh, okay. So this is it. So now it's all 4 pages here. You let them sign. Mainly it's right here. Between the period of time. Location. They didn't see. Location could be address, could be county, could be California state. We can only practice in California, okay? The largest area you can put is California. So location and other and price range. You can pay $1 to $10 million. Whatever the price range, you're gonna have to go through me. Okay? Or if your buyer doesn't want to sign, and here's the following specified property only. This is what you put the address. Here's a location, the different, all the county, everything, or city, or only the property identified on the attached list. So you have a list on certain property. Okay. So those are you need to fill in. So here's the agency disclosure. If this is a single agency or there's a broker firm does not list it in the property, okay, then amount of compensation right here. That's your money. Okay. So how many percent? Okay, or how much total dollar? Or number 2 is whatever the dollar amount may be. Or pursuant to the compensation schedule attached to the addendum. So if the buyer doesn't buy the property through you within this period of time and within your location specified, buyer need to compensate you. You're the buyer's agent. Oh, yeah, it's your money.
So that was a new one, right?
Yeah. See, that's why. Just revised.
December, yeah.
Just revised last
Just
month.
revised.
A lot of form revised last month. December. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Shall we take a 5 minutes break?
Almost done. We don't, on my training, ain't got no break. I mean, you can take a break yourself. To me, no, I don't take the break.
We need to provide the copy of the buyer or the seller by law,
Agreement on which agreement?
like leasing agreement for like buyer. What if
Absolutely, buyer need to sign it though.
yeah, they sign it, but what if they sign it on paper and they don't have a copy
Oh, well, you're gonna have to give them a copy.
by law, right?
The old law is you have to give them a copy right away. We can't. Now the new law is when you are capable. That means you can. They sign it, you email it to them. When they sign it, you make a hard copy, Xerox copy. For them, hard copy, give it to them when you are capable. Because right away, it's within what, a minute or two? I don't have a copier. Okay, seller consideration. As a seller, you are responsible for determining the asking price for your property, although the broker may provide you with the comparable sales data, general from information published in the local multiple listing service. You should know that the reporting of this data is often delayed and price may change up or down faster than report sales indicated. Because appraiser, they are appraised the history. We are creating a history because we submit the offer, we create a history. Appraiser have to see the sole data on that as a past history. So that's why when it's an upswing market, appraisal value cannot catch up. Okay, just cannot catch up. So you gotta, before you submit an offer, and if you think the offer may not, the purchase price may not appraise, you let your buyer know first. Okay. All sellers should be sure that they are comfortable with the asking price they are setting and the price they are accepting. It cannot be a guarantee that the price you decide to ask for your property and the price at which you agree to sell your property is the highest available price obtained to the property. It is solely your decision as to how much to ask for your property and at which price to sell your property. So you got to notify the seller. So on the 3, actually disclose to the seller. So sometimes why the asking price is overpricing? Well, because the seller is greedy. It may not be the market price, right? Yeah. Okay. But my house is gold plated. Like Donald Trump's house, they all gold plated. Yeah, way more than the market price. Could be twice more because I got a gold toilet. So those are, if you adding all the remodeling, okay, the whole point, if you're adding all the remodeling into your market price, well, definitely way above the market. So that's how that happened. And that's, if as seller you wish to do that, okay. So we may not take the offer, we may, depends. Okay, it depends. Because when you over the market, you cannot get appraise the value. Then what good is that? Yeah, you gotta have to consider. Okay. All right. Here's all the market condition. Then we're jumping to the SPQ, seller property questionnaire. To me, this form, probably out of all the disclosures, probably the most important one. Yeah. Because this one, we have to let the seller fill it out by themselves, not just a standard disclosure. See, whatever you see, whatever I cover, it's pretty much standard disclosure notified to both parties. Okay, so all they need to do is just sign on the bottom. Doesn't matter if they read it or not. But this seller need to fill it out. Okay, all the questionnaire. So here, this form is not substitute the real estate transfer disclosure statement. The old form, what we got, a transfer disclosure, and it's been there for a long, long time. This seller property questionnaire probably is the recent 10 years they have this form. TDS is way before I practiced the real estate. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, they already have a TDS, transfer disclosure statement. So it's not substitute. Both, now we need both forms. It is used by the seller to provide additional information when a TDS is completed. So TDS is must, used to be, and SPQ now is must, combined with any additional information, okay? TDS actually, according, all talk about the transfer disclosure statement, all talk about the house, the property. But the SPQ is actually the seller when they purchase what they did about this house, the history of the house. If they live here for 10 years, they gotta have to tell the buyer, say, okay, what do I do, for remodeling? What happened? It could be insurance, could be a damage, could be a fire, could be a water damage, and all the history. When you stay in this 10 years, disclose it. If the seller exempt from the completing a TDS, seller should complete exempt seller disclose or many use of this form instead. If they exempt for TDS, then so do SPQ. If they don't want to use it, but they have to fill out the ESD. Okay, that's an exempt seller disclosure. What situation they use this for? Yeah, trustee. They never live at or a bank-owned property. But I mean, if the seller did live in the property, you have to disclose it. The only other exempt is it has to be the beneficiary of the trust sale. If they never live in the house, okay, then they have to fill it in. Or it's a trust sale, but the trustee, they're still alive. The only thing they can exempt is when they pass away. Okay, and beneficiary, they can just fill out the exempt for the seller. But you got to make sure that the beneficiary never live in this house. If they've been living in the house before, they still need to fill out. Okay, now they cannot get exemption. And the only exemption is they never know the history of this house. If they know partially, then they have to, fill in the SPQ.
For some property that the person who buy that property, flip it and sell it, and technically they never live in that house.
They still need to fill out SPQ and TDS. If you flip it, fine. Did you ever do any repair? Well, yeah. When you flip it, did you ever do remodeling? Disclose it. What you did on remodeling, right? If you do not disclose it, whose risk is that? Seller. No, not exactly. Buyer can ask the seller anytime. If they found out the trouble with the house and seller did not disclose, or whatever that you did on the remodeling or whatever the situation, for example, they bought a beat up house full of mold, or they bought a house, it's a marijuana house before, and they flip it. Do you want to disclose it? If you do not disclose it, you see what's the trouble. Right? Yeah. Because if the marijuana house, you better disclose it. You cannot hide. The record's there. Or water damage, right? They claim the insurance. Obviously, you know the even you flip the property, you can see it's a water damage. So you disclose whatever the past condition to the present. So when the seller purchased that house, you flip it. After a few months later, whatever you did, the more you disclose, you release a liability, but the buyers will after you. Especially, when you have water damage, and if you didn't cut out the drywall, okay, and you just paint it over, then what's it telling you? The mold still inside the house, possibly, right? You just paint it over, and you didn't say anything. And later on, buyers get sick, and they will investigate. The house is full of mold. They will spread around. Then, seller, you're in a big, big, big trouble. Yeah. Now, it was. I heard of the issue before. Just the mold issue, it can be over $1 million damage, suing damage. Yeah, on a lawsuit. Yeah, because they did not disclose it. But if you disclose it, what judge will say, buyer, your own will, right? You buy this house as you wish. Now, how can you sue the seller that much? Seller probably will give you some compensation, but how can you sue $1 million damages, for example, right? Your medical bill, everything, yeah, because you bought it as you wish. They only disclose it to you. It's a marijuana house. It could be full of mold, and you still want to buy it. You better have clearances. You didn't ask for the clearances. Come on. You gotta have the clearances, for the mold clearances or CD. They will offer, give you some of the clearances. The house is safe to live in, and clearance of the mold, clear of mold. Okay. So if they still have a mold coming back, then you get after the mold company, not after seller. So that's different. Okay. Number one, seller make the following disclosure regarding the real estate and the manufactured home described as, okay, you put in the address, parcel number, county. The following are representation made by the seller are not representation of the agent. If any, this disclosure statement is not warranty of any kind by the seller or any agent, and is not a substitute for any inspection or warranty and principal may wish to obtain. This disclosure is not intended to be part of the contract between buyer and seller unless otherwise specified in writing. Broker and any real estate licensee and other persons working with or through the broker has not verified information provided by seller. We don't know anything. So don't sue me as a listing agent or buyer's agent. Okay? So that's the problem. So don't piss our client off. So if they have any issue, you better tell them, don't buy it. Or if any concern, don't push your seller to buy the house if they have the damage. Okay? Especially damage. For example, if the foundation is not level or foundation is cracked, and the buyer are hesitating to purchase, you know what I would do? I tell them, don't buy it. I will not suggest you buy this property. No, we just cancel. What if buyer insists to purchase, right? Yes, I will put it in writing. At your own will, you purchase the property. Yes, I will put an addendum or I will put the AVID, the agent visual inspection, okay, disclosure, and tell them, the foundation is cracked or foundation is not level. Buyer still insists to purchase. I will put others area, and I put the addendum because AVID seller need to sign, buyer need to sign, right? Yeah, because I look at it, obviously the foundation is way okay. If the foundation just a minor crack, it's still level, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But if especially the whole house inside the house, not in the garage. Garage usually the foundation is thinner, or patio crack. That's pretty normal. Or driveway is cracked. But if you talk about a house, for example, living room, you got a crack like this, and it's spread wide. It's not fine hairline. It's about this. Why? Crack. Do you want to buy it or not? Unless I cannot see it, especially if the house they laid out the carpet, I cannot see it. Because I had those situation is the buyer didn't blame me because buyer is a contractor and he cannot feel it and I cannot see it either. But when we bought that property and they try to flip, you remove all the flooring. Uh-oh. It's cracked. Repair it. Because we did not see it, especially that crack. I think we could, if we really want to see sue the seller, because well, sometimes they don't even know because underneath the carpet. Yeah, it's about this why. And when we walk on it, we cannot see it because it's not off. I see the house. They disclose right away. The seller disclose. When I walk on the carpet and I feel it's not level. It's off a little bit. So you have the bump. The bump in the room. I think it's dining room or something. The one house in Diamond Bar. So seller disclose it. So my buyer saying, well, if they really want to buy it, they have to smooth it or have to do the repair for the foundation. Because the seller so tell them, hey, here's a foundation issue. It's a bump. I don't know what's going on because we didn't really rip off to take a look. If you so concerned, maybe you buy the house, you cut it open and see. Cut it open the carpet. Yeah, and see if you know what's on the bottom. But that's a situation, and I will tell my buyer, you think twice before we submit offer. You sure you want to buy this house? Because obviously, you only see the trouble. Or the house is not level. If a house is not level, you know the foundation has an issue. Or the wall, you see the wall is not level, the foundation has an issue. Okay, or maybe the soil problem. Then I gotta have to tell the buyer, you better don't buy this house. Don't even think twice. Don't buy it. So that's why, if the whatever this they disclose, it's not verified by the seller. A real estate broker is qualified to advise on real estate transaction. If the seller or buyer desire legal advice, they should consult an attorney. So this form is not supposed to asking us. They should asking the attorney or their legal consultant on that. We can only give it a general idea what this question is. But whatever you feel, should I fill it no or yes? Hey, not my concern. I cannot give you any suggestion. So that's why if you see this form, oh, grayed out. You just cannot fill in through the form to DocuSign or computer. You got it. You can email the form to a buyer. Then buyer can use a PDF writer, Adobe Writer. They can still write it off. They can sign it, but they got to use their own software. You can see that, the Adobe Writer. You can fill it in. So the notice to the seller, purpose to tell the buyer about knowing the material or the significant items affecting the value of this desirability of the property and help to eliminate the misunderstanding about the condition of the property. Answer based on actual knowledge and recollecting at this time. Something that you do not consider material and significant may be perceived different by the buyer. If the seller didn't really concern, that's no big deal, but I still tell seller, disclose it. Because sometimes the buyer may concern something you may not know. Everybody have a different point of view. Think about what you would want to know if you were the buyer of the property today. Yeah, just change your shoes. If you are the buyer, what do you like to see? So then you better disclose everything. I see some of agent, they turn in the SPQ, mark everything is no. So stupid. This is your chance. Seller, you disclose to get rid of the liability of this house. Okay, why don't you disclose as much as you can? I really, really don't believe you can mark everything no of this house. Okay, but obviously, I see this. But as a buyer's agent, can I change it? I can. That's what sellers disclose it. And listing agents stupid do. They didn't suggest the seller do proper way to disclose. They probably just tell the seller, I just mark everything no. You get off the hook. Wrong. If you mark everything no, both of you, listing agent and seller, you did not get off the hook. You are in trouble later. Okay? Disclose as much as you can, as detailed as you can. If you don't have enough space, that's okay. I'll give you the addendum to continue fill it out. For example, if you do so many remodeling and a few lines cannot be enough to fill in, then you give in a piece of paper, addendum, kind of fill it in, attached with SPQ. Yeah. Read the question carefully and take your time. I didn't say you need to rush it. Take your time. So that's why the right way to fill out all the disclosure, especially SPQ and TDS, you give it to the buyer, give it to the seller if you're the listing agent before open escrow. Before open escrow. Don't wait until open escrow and still rushing. Because once you open escrow, you only got 7 days. You need to deliver all the disclosure to the buyer. Then you start rushed. Yeah, it's up to you. They did right. Without the permit, they knock out the wall. Okay, then if you want to buy it, so be it. You go to the city, it doesn't change anything, because the title is show say 4 bedroom, now it's only 3 bedroom because they knock out the wall in between the bedroom. Okay, your buyer's concerned on that. Either you tell the seller, recover to the original condition, or as a buyer, if you want to get 2 room back, you build your own wall back.
You accept as it is.
Then you accept your own risk. Already disclose it. Yeah. And especially they will tell you without permit. Well, they adding so often we see that adding a bathroom without permit. Then what do? Either accept it or you don't buy it. Yeah. Usually I won't, as if I'm the listing agent, anything unpermitted area, I will say it in the disclosure, agent remark on the listing, on the MLS. Just like a property was, someone passed away inside the house within the 3 years. Some people want to wait until the disclosure. Wait until everybody submit the offer. Then you counter them. Oh, at the house have someone passed away within 3 years. Just like the first question here. Why are you wasting your time? If someone is so concerned, right?
because most likely if those buyer, they just like, they may cancel the offer because until they see the disclosure question number 1, okay, the A1. Within the last 3 years, the death of a occupant of a property up on the, okay, a property up on the property. If you mark yes, they may cancel. Why do I just, so I would disclose it at the agent remark. I should send in question. If somebody modified the house without a permit, I will put on the agent remark. So when you submit an offer, you should know. But still, some of the buyer's agent, they don't read. I don't know, did they understand English or not, but they just don't read it. So you're gonna have to repeat it to them again. Did you see my agent remark? What? What? Agent remark. So you understand? Oh, what you need to tell us? Come on. Just like when you submit an offer, did you check out the title? Did you ever double check with the square footage is correct? Yeah. They submit the offer in blind. So sometimes those buyer's agent piss me off. What can I say? If you do not understand how to answer the question or what to disclose and how to make the disclosure in response to the question, whether on the form or on TDS, you should consult a real estate attorney in California of your choosing. A broker cannot answer the question for you to advise on the legal sufficiency of any answer and disclosure you provide. Why? It's because whatever the answer, it will create, if you answer properly, no problem. If you do not answer or you answer it wrong, it may create more trouble later on. And we are not attorney. I cannot give you any advice or any suggestion. I can only explain to you what is, if you, pretty much it's like translation, if you to Chinese or whatever the language may be, okay? All I do is just translate it. And I'm not your translator either. Legally, you should hire the translator, okay? But some seller, they are so cheap. Okay, fine. I'll basically just, kind of tell you which paragraph, what they, if you really want me to go through, then I just, kind of tell you what is telling you this and that. But, and they are, I tell them to write it in Chinese or whatever the language, okay? Write it on a piece of paper. Then I translate it, okay? If they're really cheap, that's what I did. I translated it into English and you copy, because each answer, you gotta have to make the explanation on the bottom. You use your hand, seller, you use your own handwriting, writing explanation, not me. And make sure I took the one I write and destroy it. Now, I never admitted I'm helping you. I will tell seller that. I will not, if you're in trouble, I will never admit it I'm helping you. Because you tell me to do that. I'm just, as a friend, I help you. Not listing agent helping you. I'm nobody. I will not leave any evidence. Yeah. Note to the buyer. Purpose to give you more information about no material significant item affecting the value of a desirability property and help you eliminate the misunderstanding about the condition of the property. Something that may be material significant to you may not be perceived the same way by the seller. If something important to you, be sure to put your concern, a question in writing. So the BMI, okay? Buyer's material investigation. That is actually as a questionnaire. If you do concern whatever the issue, and it's not on the disclosure, you want to ask the seller. Then write it on the question. You ask the seller to answer.
Seller can only disclose what they actually know. Seller may not know about all material and significant items. Yeah, seller can only, answer whatever they know. If they say, a buyer say, you ask a question, ask a seller, say, do you have any friendly Casper inside of your house? Seller says, I don't know, right? But can you ask? Yeah. Yeah, because that question is not going to be available in the disclosure. But if the buyer is so concerned, can you ask any question? Yeah. Then buyer and seller will answer. If the seller refuses to answer, then buyer has a right not to purchase, right? Yeah, to cancel the deal. Yeah.
I don't have trouble to understand what is material fact, what is not material fact. What's the difference between these two?
Actually, whatever you think the material fact is, everything subject for the material. This is material, that is material. A lot of things is material, okay? But not material effect, that is usually the thoughts, okay? The way you think, different way the buyer perceive. That's not non-material. Material, actually, you see the house, this is subject. You see the the condition, everything is all material, okay? So that's a material effect. But I mean, put it this way, if anything you think you should disclose, then put it out. Yeah, put it in writing. So if, yeah.
For that item one, for last 3 years, there's that one. Okay? That house only by 2 years, and I sold it, but I didn't know that my previous owner had got people pass away. What do we do? Sue us?
No.
That did not pursue the previous owner, right?
If the buyer is so concerned and you only buy for 2 years.
Yeah.
I did it before. Good question. I had a buyer, they want to know the whole history of the house. So not just 3 years. Wow, yeah. Did this house ever have someone pass away? Not 3 years. How do I know? So let's say, I've been living here for 20 years, certainly not from family, but I don't know from the seller. And the buyer insists. And I ask the seller, do you still have a previous disclosure statement? Used to be doesn't have SPQ, okay? We have the similar, what you saw the exam for the, we call it supplemental disclosure statement. That's what we used to be called. That is actually the same thing on the first, the question, the 12th question on the A part, we call used to be the supplemental disclosure statement. And that is provided by the previous seller. I say, look, I can only provide you this much. So cover probably 30 some years history. But this house built in 1960 something. I have no way to track way before. And if you're still not satisfied, that's okay, no hard feeling. You can cancel.
Don't buy.
Huh?
Don't buy, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
So the buyer cancel. I'm a listing agent. You know, buyer is a young guy. He is a military veteran. And you're afraid of friendly ghost Casper? That's why it's bringing the subject, you know. It just happened to me. I said, yeah, he submitted the question. And the seller said, James, how do we answer? I said, we'll answer as much as we can. That's all we provide. Here, what we provide our disclosure, plus your previous disclosure. When you bought it, the seller give you the disclosure too, right? I give you everything. To disclosure. You still not happy? That's okay. So the reason they cancel is because we cannot disclose a full history of if somebody passed away inside the house or not. Sound stupid? It is stupid. But I'm not volunteer to disclose, or we don't know if did they ever check on the property, because if it's an unnatural death, you all have a record in the police department, right? Suicide, homicide. It's a buyer's agent. Buyer, you need to go to the police department to check on it. There's property. See if anything happened, okay, on this address. Not listing agent. I need to do that, but for what we know, we give you all the disclosure. But that I know that the young guy I know is 20 something, not even 30 years old, and his mom is his agent, and they cancel that. It's because the loan actually mom is not just an agent; he's a loan officer too, and everything is on proceed, and the kids is. I don't know, for some reason, I don't know, did they have the thought, or because of military, they have trauma or something, they just make sure the house and nobody pass away. And well, why didn't you just buy a brand new house? Right? And I cannot even guarantee the brand new house, anybody pass away underground, right? Right? Yeah. Well, how do I know a couple hundred years ago? Or maybe a graveyard. You build a house on the graveyard. In Asia, that's pretty normal. How can I disclose that, right? Come on. And the seller disclose are not substitute of your own investigation, personal judgment, and common sense. So don't rely on just the a seller disclosure. We still suggest the buyer have to do the investigation, inspection of the house. Okay. On the material, sometime, especially material, affecting the property, on the subject property. Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll stop right here. Next Tuesday, we'll come in, with the A1 for the seller awareness and start with all the questionnaire. So at least, we're telling you, on this, why this form is important is because that is actually what seller disclose everything, and the buyer, review it. Yeah. All right. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for teaching.
Oh, no problem.
In buying a house, do we need the disclosure for that the cemetery area? Do we?
Well, it's not do we. I would disclose anything.
So we should be with the
If it's close by, for example, Rowan High, we have a cemetery, right? If you live right next to it or close by, do you want to disclose it? I would. Or even church, temple, school, because school have a noise. Railroad, major street, freeway, airport, you can be disclosed. Even high voltage tower, close by.
Like a high pressure cable, whatever, close, whatever, we need to put also, if we need it.
That is something I would suggest the seller say. Those are may not concern to you, but that's what I would suggest. If you could disclose it. If you sell the property right next to a major street, would you disclose it? Traffic noise, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, same thing.
Traffic.
School, you have a school noise, okay? Or because you on the especially when the school, high school, the marching band, the camp, yay, the football field, it's a noise.
That even buyer, even the seller didn't write anything, but our buyer agent didn't write something there.
Where do we put it?
Put any mark.
AVID. Yes,
right?
yes. We need to cover ourselves as a buyer's agent. Okay, AVID. Because AVID have other area, whatever you think you need to disclose. As an agent, you know the area. You disclose it. Because a football field, sometimes the lighting could be affecting the property, especially, if you see the Countrywood on the Hacienda High or whatever the high school may be on the football field, okay, Diamond Bar High School, Warner High School, the the lighting is pretty bright, and it could be affecting, someone else, so you have to disclose it if you think next to school, it could be affecting on the noise, like gaming noise, or it could be the lighting, everything on that. Yeah, but at least you say it's close to the school, so you have the well affecting sometimes the traffic, like
parking or traffic.
during this school hour right before this after school, right? Curve all, parking all the car, for parents to pick up their kids. I have to do that. Yeah. Just like, I have the help the client bought the property and it close to high school, then listing agent disclose it. It's an investment property. Now I gotta put in a rental. Do I need to disclose it? Yeah. When I lease it to the tenant, and I would, if anything, they are concerned, yeah, we'll say so, definitely. Yeah.
So I had a client, I helped her purchase house last year.
Mm-hmm.
We purchased a house, she sold her house in San Bernardino. But that listing agent filled out the SPO for her because she did some like repair in the house. But my client disclosed to the listing agent, but the listing agent did not disclose to the buyer's agent. Well, actually, she's a dual agent, but she's not disclosed. So later on, the buyer find out they have some illegal like repairs, so they sued the buyer's agent, and then they sued my client too, and my client find out that her agent actually is a dual agent. So, but when my client went, but she did not have any contract that the record of the listing agent did not provide her anything.
Oh.
Where can she get it?
Company, brokerage.
So do they have to, the company has to provide my client all the contracts?
Suppose. Listing agent, if a listing agent in trouble, so the brokerage in trouble.
Yeah, they sue the broker.
Yes,
too.
yes, yes.
They just go to
And the listing agent is really in big trouble of that because you did not give the copy. So that's why disclosure, you have to give it to the especially buyer and so did the seller. But everybody obtained the copies. Okay. Especially the first thing they did the agent never filled out this form for the client. Never, never, never. Okay.
She did everything and just bring it to my client.
No.
I have my client to sign it and
See, that's why I tell you what I did before. Okay. If somebody had totally no English, you write it in Chinese or whatever the Vietnamese or something in the paper, okay? On the scratch paper. Make sure you destroy all the paper on the scratch paper. You have them write it down and you translate it to English. You have them copy your English and destroy the scratch paper. So who's in handwriting? Seller's handwriting. Never be your agent's, your handwriting, okay? That's how I did. And I will tell them I will not admit it, what I just did. Okay? And give me all the copies. Otherwise, I'm not going to help you. So before I doing that, I will tell them what I'm going to do. If you're not agree, then go find someone else to fill it out. I'm not going to help you. Yeah. One case will kill you. One lawsuit will kill you. Yeah. And we cannot get away with a lawsuit as long as you're in this career. Just be careful on every case. That's it. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, that's the nature of our career. Got so many lawsuits. If the buyer's not happy, seller's not happy, they sue. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.